In a quiet part of the galaxy, a red warning light blinked on a lonely satellite. The satellite belonged to the Galactic Union. It was very old, but it still worked. It had one job: to send out a distress signal if danger came too close. Today, that danger had arrived. The Krill, a violent and fast-growing alien species, were attacking again. They moved from planet to planet, destroying everything in their path. They had no leaders. They had no feelings. They only knew how to kill. The Galactic Union sent out a desperate SOS. It was a simple message, sent in hundreds of languages. One message repeated over and over: to any who can hear us. We are under attack. The Krill are coming. We cannot stop them. Please help us. The message flew across space, reaching thousands of planets. But most planets stayed silent. Some were too scared to help. Others said, "It's not our problem." Even the strongest worlds in the Union began to pull back, hiding behind their defense shields. But one planet answered. One strange and dangerous planet, the one the Union had once labeled Deathworld 002, Earth. On Earth, the signal was picked up by the United Earth Alliance's Deep Space Command Center, hidden beneath the mountains of Kazakhstan. A young technician named Hyan shouted across the control room, "We received a galactic emergency signal." Commander Kim Yuna walked calmly to his station. She was tall, with sharp eyes and a quiet voice. She wore a simple gray uniform with a silver eagle on the shoulder, the mark of Earth's vanguard. "Play the message," she said. As the room grew silent, the voice of an alien leader cried out through the speakers. The technicians listened carefully, and when the message ended, the room stayed quiet for a moment. Then, Kim Yuna turned to her assistant. "Alert the president." President Park Dae-hyun sat in a large steel room under Earth's capital city in Jeju. He looked at the giant screen in front of him. The message had played again. Now he stared at the holographic map showing how far the Krill had spread. "How many systems have fallen?" he asked. 72, said one of his advisors, a woman named Sun Mi. "The Union has lost half of its fleet. The rest are hiding." President Park nodded slowly. "And Earth? We are not part of the Union. They don't expect us to help. They think we are still recovering after the resource wars." Park stood up. He was a tall man with tired eyes. "They are wrong. We have spent 20 years building in secret. We have ships. We have soldiers. We are ready." The generals around the table looked at him in shock. "But sir," said General Ru, "this war is not ours." President Park turned to the screen. The Krill were spreading fast, like a virus. One day, they would come to Earth too. And no one would answer their call for help. "It is our war now," Park said. "Because if we wait, we will die alone. If we fight now, we might not die at all." The Earth fleet was called the Vanguard. It was not like the ships of other planets. It was dark and heavy, built from titanium found deep in Earth's crust. It did not look elegant. It looked dangerous. It was made to fight. Each ship had a name. Some were named after storms like Typhoon and Thunderstrike. Others were named after Earth's old heroes, like Admiral Yi and Hwarang Blade. Inside these ships, the soldiers trained day and night. They were not like the soft diplomats of the Union. Earth soldiers came from a death world. They knew pain. They knew fear. And they knew how to survive. Captain Lee Hana stood on the deck of her ship Stormcaller. She was young, only 27, but she had seen more war than most. Her crew respected her because she never gave up, no matter the odds. She received her orders from General Kim Yuna that morning. "Captain Lee, your ship will lead the first wave. We jump in, we protect the Union's last stronghold, Veltria. If we lose it, we lose the sector." "Yes, ma'am," Hana replied with a firm voice. Kim Yuna smiled slightly. "Don't hold back. Show them what a Deathworlder fleet can do." In orbit, Hundreds of black ships formed a line across space. Their engines burned blue and bright. As they powered up for hyperspace jump, a message was sent from Earth to the galaxy. It was not a request, it was a promise. We heard your call. Earth is coming. Back at command, President Park watched the fleet vanish into the stars. His hand rested on the table, fingers curled into a fist. Beside him, General Una stood still. They will fear us, she said softly. President Park shook his head. No, he replied. They will hope because of us. Flames covered the cities. The sky was filled with black smoke. The Krill had already landed on the surface. Their ships, sharp and round like insects, floated above the ground. They released waves of soldiers, creatures with claws, fangs, and no mercy. Veltria had once been the capital of the Galactic Union's outer zone. Now its people ran in fear. Families tried to escape in small ships. But most were too late. In the Union base near the mountains, Chancellor Torvak stared at the map with shaking hands. Red lights blinked across the screen, each showing a lost district. Veltria had only hours left. We must evacuate, said an officer beside him. We can't stop them. Torvak lowered his head. Send the message, full retreat. Leave the planet. Just then, a loud alarm rang through the base. Everyone froze. The screen lit up with a new signal. But it wasn't from Krill forces. It was from hyperspace. Many ships were coming. High above Veltria, the stars shifted. A storm of dark shapes appeared. Hundreds of ships, big and small, jumped out of hyperspace with glowing engines. They moved in perfect order. Their sides were marked with a symbol, a silver eagle, wings open. The Earth fleet had arrived. General Kim Una stood on the command bridge of the flagship Iron Resolve. Her voice was calm. All ships, hold formation, begin descent. Deploy ground teams. Her officers moved fast. Orders flew across the fleet. Dropships launched from carriers, diving down to the planet below. On board one of the dropships, Captain Lee Hanna checked her gear. Her team sat around her, silent and focused. Sergeant Choi Min-soo, her second in command, gave a thumbs up. Ready, Captain, he said. Hanna nodded. Then let's show them why Earth is called a death world. Back in the Union base, the alien officers stared at their screens in disbelief. Who are they? Someone asked. Torvak stood slowly. He watched the Earth fleet cut through the Krill ships with brutal firepower. Missiles flew, lasers burned. The Krill fleet began to break apart. Deathworlders, Torvak whispered. They came. On the surface, chaos turned into battle. Earth's dropships landed with thunder. Doors flew open. Soldiers ran out in full armor, their faces hidden behind black visors. They moved fast and fought hard. The Krill attacked them from all sides. But Earth soldiers were ready. Captain Lee Hanna led her team through the burning streets. Her rifle fired in short bursts, each shot dropping a Krill creature. Keep moving, she shouted. Min-soo pointed to a tall building ahead. Snipers on the roof. I'll handle them, Hanna said. She ran forward, leapt onto a fallen column, and climbed the side of the building. 2 Krill were there, aiming down at the street. She struck one with her blade and fired into the other's chest. From the rooftop, she called her team. We have a clear path. Advance. The Earth troops pushed forward, covering the Union soldiers who were trying to retreat. Many aliens stared in shock. They had never seen humans before, not like this, not soldiers who smiled during battle, not soldiers who laughed as explosions shook the ground, not soldiers who fought like they were born for war. In orbit, General Una received updates from all battle zones. Sector 7 cleared. Zone 3 under control. Minimal Earth casualties. She looked at her screen. The Earth fleet was now chasing the Krill ships out of orbit. Veltria would be safe, at least for now. She opened a communication line to the Union Command Center. A hologram of Chancellor Torvak appeared. This is General Kim Una, Earth Vanguard. Veltria is no longer in danger. We will begin recovery operations. Torvik stared at her. You came. Yes, we sent the signal weeks ago. No one answered. We heard it, Una said. We came late, but we came strong. Torvik lowered his head. Thank you. Una didn't smile. We did not come for thanks. We came because no one else would. As the sun rose over Veltria, the Earth troops gathered in the central square. The fighting was over. The air still smelled like smoke, but the city was quiet. Captain Lihanna sat on a bench, removing her helmet. Sweat rolled down her face, but her eyes were steady. Sergeant Min-Su sat beside her. You think they'll remember this? Hana looked at the alien children watching them from a distance. They'll remember we didn't run. Min-Su nodded. Good. Back in orbit, Earth's fleet began repairing damaged ships. Medical drones carried the wounded. Supplies were sent down to help the civilians. President Park Dae-hyun watched it all from a communication room on Earth. A live feed showed the flag of Earth waving over the ruins of Veltria. He turned to his advisors. This is just the beginning. The galaxy is watching now. Let them see that humans are not just survivors. We are protectors. General Yuna's voice came through the speaker. Sir, Veltria is secure, awaiting next orders. President Park spoke firmly. Prepare to move. We're not done yet. That day, across the stars, stories began to spread. Stories of black ships and brave soldiers. Of humans from a death world who came when no one else did. Of fighters who didn't back down, even when surrounded. For the first time in years, hope returned to the Galactic Union. And with that hope came a new warning to the Krill. Earth has entered the war. They had lost Veltria. Their ships had been destroyed. Their warriors had been killed by strange humans from the death world, called Earth. Now, they wanted revenge. Thousands of Krill ships gathered near a mountain planet called Karas 4. It was close to Veltria, and it had many caves and deep valleys. The Krill planned to trap the humans there and destroy them once and for all. But General Kim Una was ready. She stood in the command center aboard Iron Resolve, looking at the map. Her officers were tense, but she was calm. Her eyes focused on the battlefield like a chessboard. They will come here, she said. We will let them. Let them? Asked Major Yoon. You want us to bait them? Yes, she said. We will use Karas 4 as a trap. We control the high ground. We control the skies. We will not run. We will wait. Then we will crush them. Captain Lihanna and Sergeant Choi Min-Su landed on Karas 4 2 days later. They brought 1,000 Earth soldiers with them. The air was cold and the land was rough, steep cliffs, rocky paths, and freezing winds. But Earth soldiers were used to hard places. This planet reminded them of home. We will build defenses here, Hana said, pointing at a mountain pass. The Krill must come through this gap. We will stop them here. Her team began digging trenches, setting traps, and placing heavy guns along the hills. Drones flew above, watching the sky. Everyone worked quickly. On the third night, the Krill arrived. Their ships covered the stars like a black cloud. Their ground troops poured out, filling the valley with the sound of screeches and marching legs. Min-Su looked out at the swarm. There are too many, he said quietly. Hana nodded. Then we will kill them all. The battle began at dawn. The Krill charged through the valley, fast and angry. Earth soldiers waited behind rocks and walls, hidden until the last moment. Now, Hana shouted. Explosions rocked the valley. Earth's heavy guns opened fire. Bullets and lasers tore through the Krill ranks. The front line of the Krill fell, but more kept coming. Captain Hana moved through the battle, shouting orders and pulling the wounded to safety. Krill crawlers jumped from the rocks. Earth soldiers shot them in mid-air. A sniper team picked off the Krill leaders. Still, the enemy did not stop. Up above, General Kim Una watched the battle from orbit. She saw that the trap was working, but barely. "The Krill are sending everything," said Major Yoon. "They are desperate," Yuna replied. "That makes them blind." She pressed a button on her console, "Send in the second wave." From the sky, Earth's jump ships descended. Reinforcements dropped into the valley with fire and noise. Tanks rolled out of carriers. Air drones screamed across the sky. The Krill started to fall back, but Earth kept pushing forward. Sergeant Min-Soo and Captain Hana were covered in dirt and blood. But they were still standing. "We're pushing them back." Min-Soo shouted. Hana nodded, but her face was serious. "We can't stop. If we give them even one chance, they'll take this planet." Together, they led the final charge up the ridge. Earth soldiers followed, shouting the new cry that had spread through the fleet. "Deathworlders, never run." The Krill broke. Their swarm shattered. Their ships tried to escape into the sky, but Earth's fleet was waiting. Missiles flew. Lasers cut through metal. One by one, the Krill ships exploded. What was left of their army was gone. The battle was over. Kara's 4 was saved. Back on Earth, the people cheered. Screens showed the flag of Earth raised high on Kara's 4's tallest mountain. Across the galaxy, the news spread fast. The Deathworlders won again. In the Galactic Union Central Station, leaders from many alien species gathered for a meeting. The room was large and full of fear, but also full of hope. President Park Dae-hyun entered the hall. Behind him walked General Kim Yuna, Captain Lee Hana, and several Earth diplomats. They took their seats at the front of the room. The alien leaders stood up in respect. President Park stepped forward to speak. "Years ago, the Union warned us that Earth was too wild to join," he began. "They called us dangerous. They called us Deathworlders. They said we were not ready." He looked around the hall. "But when the Krill came, many of you did not fight. Earth did." There was silence in the room. "We did not come to take power." Park said, "We do not want to rule you. We only want one thing, unity. Not fear, not silence, unity. Together, we are strong. Alone, we fall." A voice spoke from the crowd. It was Chancellor Torvak. "We were wrong about Earth," he said. "You are not just survivors, you are protectors." President Park smiled. "Let us build a new defense council. Not just for Earth, for all of us." The vote passed. Earth was given a seat in the new Galactic Defense Council. The Union would never be the same again. Back on Kara's 4, Earth soldiers rested beside aliens who once feared them. They shared food, stories, and even laughter. Captain Lee Hana walked to the edge of a cliff and looked at the stars. Min-Soo stood beside her. "So what now?" "We rebuild," she said. "We teach them how to fight. We get ready for whatever comes next. Even more Krill? Even worse maybe," she said. "But we're not alone anymore." And across the stars, people whispered a new saying, "When death comes from the sky, call the Deathworlders." Because now the galaxy, New Earth, answered the call, and they did not come alone.